What's up, guys? Just wanted to go over a few details of some tropical mischief shenanigans starting to come up in the Gulf of Mexico with the Northwest Caribbean starting to finally start to awaken for some tropical development going into the next week or so at the end of September. I noticed a lot of the forecast models are actually starting to pick up on a few things, including the ensemble means of the European model and the GFS model. What we're currently looking at first is obviously the GFS, and it's currently updated. So let's go back to the 12Z. I'll update that. Here we go. 12Z run here coming into portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Out of the Northwest Caribbean, there's development that the GFS model is currently trying to pick up on. And we'll see if we actually get a hurricane going in the Gulf of Mexico at the end of the month. There does show some development here and signs of life here that come out of the area and shoot straight north. But it's been very consistent over the last few days, and that's why it's kind of raising the alarm that there could be possible development. And the just like last year, how it actually started out way later than usual, and we all of a sudden had like 3 major hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico within like 2-week spans of each other, and that was last year. Like, it happened really late, but I think the same thing's actually going to happen this year as well. So I think there's definitely the chance of something happening coming out of the Caribbean. The forecast models are kind of all picking up on it. It's slowly coming together. It's either like one run that the forecast models show it and the other forecast model run doesn't show it, but it is definitely starting to show convincing signs that there is definitely life that's going to come alive here and out of the Caribbean. The European AI, the Google model, maybe these runs are really bad runs as well, but it's still showing somewhat of signs of something coming out of the Caribbean and shooting straight north, kind of coming out of the Northwest Caribbean, really warm above historic temperatures this time of year. Enough fuel for storms to actually develop, and these guys will actually start to shoot north and maybe go into the Florida Panhandle or the western portions of Florida maybe at the end of the month if something does to decide to get going or to develop. That's what we're currently watching here. Water temperatures out there, obviously 85, 90 degree plus temperatures at the surface temperatures there. Like I said, historic temperatures at this time of year across that area. There isn't supposed to be anticipated any wind shear during that time frame, as development might come into the area as well. But obviously everything's going to change when we actually get to that time frame, because like I said, the models keep going in and out, in and out, in and out, and kind of back and forth on scenarios that what could possibly happen coming out of the Northwest Caribbean going into the Gulf. But deciding if actually one of those actually becomes a major tropical system, we won't know for sure till at least 6 days from now, when the models are starting to come into better agreement on what could possibly develop going into the area. Still got the system way out there in the Atlantic that keeps going on and off of what it really wants to do or not. Obviously it's going to be out to sea storm, fish storm, not really anything promising with that. This year alone has been very below average, any type of landfall interaction with any type of tropical system for the coast, East Coast, the Gulf Coast. Really haven't seen any much action at all. But the models keep trying to pick up on something maybe to develop coming out of the Northwest Caribbean sometimes towards the end of this month, and maybe it comes alive before we actually shut down, going into our winter mode, or if the hurricane season can last going into the next few months to see if we get something coming out of the Northwest Caribbean. But other than that, it's been very inactive. Kind of just going into the forecast for this weekend, not seeing a ton of thunderstorm activity. There was supposed to be some storms across Iowa today. Obviously that's just been very on the low side for the most part. But other than that, just not really seeing a ton of active. So you got the spin and load there across Iowa today, and that generates maybe some showers and stuff and storms tomorrow across portions of northern and northeast Illinois for the most part, going into late Friday night into early Saturday morning, but that kind of spreads off. Maybe some newer storms develop going into Saturday evening, but nothing too severe, just your ordinary showers and thunder showers and much needed rain, but we're still in a drought. Temperature wise, temperatures Friday are going to get off into the upper 80s for the most part, especially across central and eastern portions of Illinois and Indiana. Behind that front, temperatures are jumping off into the dropping off into the 60s, and the temperatures come up again for maybe some more storms on Saturday, but that's all we're looking at currently. Nothing too severe, nothing too significant. Still waiting to see if stuff develops out of the Northwest Caribbean and goes into the Gulf. Both areas of interest down watching. It's still 50-50 chance to see if actually something does happen, but we'll definitely be down there covering it if we actually do get a system this year to actually track into Florida or into the Gulf Coast states. But other than that, stay tuned for later updates and we'll just go from there. Nothing really much happening.